And staying with innovation, one of the buzziest words in the tech space is virtual reality. That's the three-dimensional immersive experience that's changing the way we entertain ourselves. But the technology is also a powerful marketing tool. I spoke to Jason Powers, the Chief Creative Technologist for Brightline. Now, that's a company that creates digital interactive experiences for consumers so that they can better connect with brands. I began by asking Jason why China is on the cutting edge when it comes to virtual reality.
The manufacturing capabilities in China are second to none. Their ability to scale up a product quickly and the market, the domestic market in China for new products is huge. It's obviously the largest in the world.
Now, we're seeing a lot of companies come into this space, both in China and around the world. Any danger of a bubble?
I think we're seeing a little bit of a bubble in China. I think there was a lot of excitement. And we're seeing a little bit of a market recalibration, I would say. Not a full bubble burst, but there are more realistic views coming to fore, and people are seeing just what the ROI is going to be.
And we are seeing some of the smaller players that really can't keep up. We're kind of seeing them being weeded out at this point also.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this. So most people, when they think of VR, they just kind of think of the headset. Obviously, there's a lot more than just the hardware involved. Give us a bit of insight on that.
So the headset is just the way that you view it, but what's really important is compelling content, and that's really starting to come online now. And it's still the Wild West. They're still figuring out how to make the best content with VR, and directors are still trying to figure out how to really leverage what VR gives you, which is this presence and this 360 view and this user control. To create a compelling storyline. And so we're in a super exciting time for that.
This idea of the amount of investment going into this, since so many different kinds of companies and sectors are really interested in this, what sort of investment are we seeing?
Well, we're seeing pretty big investment, especially in China. I think it was Bloomberg slated it to be $8.5 billion by 2020, so that's big. And you've got major players throwing their weight behind it. So I don't see VR going away anytime soon.
And for some companies who are kind of seeing where technology is heading, wondering how can we better engage with consumers, what are they doing to really tap into that market?
We've got brands capitalizing on the sort of hotness of VR right now to engage with consumers, both in the 360 video space, which is immersive but not as immersive as full-on VR, and then also in the full interactive virtual reality space.
Now, it does seem like every day we're being inundated with the newest phone, the newest that, the newest that. What do you think is really going to appeal to like your everyday consumer? Why would they need another gadget?
There's an element to it that I don't think you fully get until you're in it, and that's presence. Watching something on television, you're separated from it. You can see it, you can experience it, but you're not in it. And so what people experience when they get into a really well-done virtual reality experience is presence. They're in that location.
Well, we're going to be giving our audience a taste of that in just a bit. I'm very excited. So, all right, well, let's give it a whirl, shall we?
That is the VR headset. That's
wow.
That's where you get most of your immersion, although a lot of it actually does come from the audio. So I'm going to hand you off these headphones.
Okay.
And you should see two hands.
I see a pair of hands.
Yep. So go ahead and take those. And you've got triggers.
Okay.
And if you pull one of the triggers, you're going to look to your left, and you're going to see some instructions, and you're going to hear some voiceover telling you how to go through the experience. So now you can see the pipes under the ground. You've got that X-ray vision. And if you look to your left, you're going to see a truck there, and they're actually coming to paint the ground and lay down flags so that you know where all of your pipes are going to your house.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the goal of this experience is to place objects in your yard.
Okay.
So if you look down, you're going to see those objects to the left of the blueprint.
Okay.
If you reach out with your hand, if you pull the trigger, you should be able to pick one up. So move your hand over it and pull the trigger, and you're able to pick it up.
And where am I putting
it? You can put it anywhere in the yard, inside the yard, where there is not a pipe. So if you move your hand down a little bit, it'll sort of snap onto the yard, and you can place it. Now, if you look into the yard, it's actually going to drop into place.
Oh, okay, there it goes.
Yep.
Now, for the average person, what would they need to spend to get a kit?
For the fully interactive gaming rig kit, I think we're probably looking at close to $2,000 to $2,500.
Where do you see the future of this going? Like, how much more advanced do you think this tech? I know we're just scratching the surface. How much more advanced do you think things can get, like in terms of graphics and the sorts of uses that we'll see it in?
Well, we're definitely in an exciting time. I see a ton of potential for accessories. HTC and Valve just came out with a tracker which allows you to hook a device onto really any object and interact with that object in virtual reality. I see a lot in terms of feedback, in terms of haptic feedback, like if you touch something in virtual reality, it feels like you touch it.
Oh, okay.
That's something you still don't get, and you feel it. You miss out on it when you're doing it.